Hey folks, Mackenzie Lambert here, joined with my good friend John Cleveland.
Hi everybody.
We are now on day 19 of the 31 Days of Halloween Horror Challenge from Nightmare on Film Street. Today's theme is Possessed.
So many different options with this. So many different levels of possession. I'm interested to see what your choice is.
For this one, Exorcist is probably the most well-known.
Yeah, if there was one that is so obvious as to not choose, and I don't like doing that, but it's The Exorcist.
So I went with its Spanish knockoff of Demon Witch Child. This is from Armando de Osorio, the director of the Blind Dead films. This one is probably his most visually engaging film. This is such a departure from the Blind Dead films, which are obvious zombie movies, but this one, his take on The Exorcist is actually pretty interesting.
Okay.
Some pretty good visual effects for 1975.
Fair.
And interesting enough, the girl who's at the central character is the actress that did the Spanish ADR for The Exorcist.
Oh, okay.
So you actually got that connection. But yeah, Demon Witch Child... there is an off-camera scene of a man being having an important part of his body cut off. It's an excellent example of less is more, and that's really what this film offers. It offers the most horrible things, and it lets your imagination fill in the blanks.
All right, so it's a good, not to belittle it, but it's a good Exorcist ripoff.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I feel like we could do a whole day of ripoffs, but yeah. But all right, I've never seen it. I'll have to check it out. I'm sure it's in one of the box sets.
Yeah. Yep.
For me, I went a different route. I didn't go super obscure. I could have. There's 1,000 possession movies, and there's some great ones out there. There really are.
Oh yeah.
But I went one where you might not think of it as a possession movie at first, just because it seems to be connected with other things a bit more. But I had to go with my favorite horror film involving possession, even more than The Exorcist. I went with Evil Dead.
Ooh. That counts. That absolutely counts.
100%. Yeah. 1981's The Evil Dead. He gets possessed. It's a big part of the story. It's important to the narrative. I used to say I like the sequel more than the original, but having recently rewatched both in a theater setting with a live crowd and everything like that, I have to say I don't know if it's just getting older and liking a bit more slow burn or a bit more horror than non-horror. I have to say I think I like the original better. And so in that. That's why I'm choosing it for the original. Now, you could argue possession leads into the sequel a bit more, but both involve it, so it's important.
Yeah, and it's just really interesting. I first started with Army of Darkness. That was my first Evil Dead film, and then went to Evil Dead 2, and then the first Evil Dead. And it's shocking just how useless Bruce Campbell is in the first Evil Dead. Absolutely. He's literally like the final girl, but he's a guy.
I mean, his name is Ashley. Yeah. I mean, so...
And so we have to bring up Equinox just because
yeah. If you're a big Evil Dead fan and you've never heard of a film, I think it's 1970 Equinox, highly suggest, and after watching it, it's weird because you're gonna go, wow, this Sam Raimi ripped this off, but then you also pay attention to it and you're like, okay, he was inspired by it.
He changed enough of it.
There's a lot changed. It involves a group of friends, college-age friends, going to a remote cabin in the woods, only to be besieged by
monsters,
evil spirits, evil extra-dimensional demonic spirits, and there's an evil book involved. You can see where I'm describing Evil Dead. I'm not. I'm describing Equinox. Equinox also... and there's also a lot of claymation and very impressive camera work for the time and the budget.
Yeah, it was actually Dennis Muren who did the effects, who would go on to work on Star Wars and Jurassic Park.
Absolutely. So if you've seen Evil Dead, I have to say, you owe it to yourself to see Equinox. With that said, it's very much... Evil Dead is a better film. It's also a way better horror film.
But no, Evil Dead is a really good choice as far as
fantastic.
Goes.
And if you're a horror fan, you've never seen the original Evil Dead, I don't really know how that's possible in this day and age. It's so iconic, but you owe it to yourself to see all three of them. But I personally, for Possession, the second one too, but mostly my choice is the first one.
All right, good selections. Tomorrow, day 20, and it's A24. So
good stuff. So going to be some highbrow intellectual horror.
Yes, get your caviar ready.
I don't know. Okay, hold on. It's not that highbrow. It's just It's highbrow compared to, Saw 12. We glued mousetraps to a dog. You're like...
All right, so that will be day 20. Until then, this is Mackenzie Lambert.
John Cleveland.
All right, see you tomorrow, folks.
Bye.